Welcome to week 4 of this 8-week Stay With Yourself course for creating a soulful and lifelong meditation practice. Last week we did ritual and mantra, so I hope that you're feeling really deeply cared for in all the practices we've done to this point and in all the little pleasures that you're connecting with, especially last week with the ritual and mantra aspect, and also noticing some of that self-talk that's going on, right? Which really blends perfectly into this week, which is all on gratitude and joy. Week 4, gratitude and joy. What we're continuing to do is, again, build off last week and start to connect with what brings us joy in life. The little pleasures, the little things, like really starting to notice our regular, everyday, ordinary life. In a lot of ways, the things that we take for granted. Right? So as always, I have my notes here. And the first thing I wrote is like, this week is really a lot about being present to the life that you already have, being present with what is already here, because that's gold. That's gold, right? Like life is too long to not enjoy it. And it's too short to not be enjoying it. And this is your life. Your one life. Whatever you believe comes before this life, whatever you believe comes after this life, this is where you are right now. And that's just an amazing thing if you sit and you think about it on any scale. Just to exist is a miracle, right? How crazy, how crazy this all is. And that we exist in this world that is being and flowing and almost constantly changing before us. And even though that's true, it can often feel very mundane and very ordinary, and we get stuck in loops of thoughts of it just feeling like we're stuck sometimes, right? So this week is to kind of help us unstick a little bit. I would say all these weeks are helping us get unstuck, and this one we're just taking it to another level, going a little bit beyond what we've been practicing so far. It's again going into rerouting neurological pathways, creating new narratives for ourselves just by choosing where we put our focus. So the first gratitude practice that was introduced to me when I first started coming to meditation and mindfulness is one of my teachers. I had gone on a silent nature retreat for many days, and it was absolutely transformative. And one of the teachers, one of our practices was, she said, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to go barefoot out into the woods, and you're just going to walk around, and you're just going to start saying thank you. Thank you for this and thank you for that. And we're going to do this for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes, we're going to go walking, and I just want you to say thank you for whatever comes to mind. And this was a key point that she said, you don't have to feel gratitude to do this practice. Okay? So this is actually one of your expand your practices this week. Is I went out into the woods and I walked around barefoot, and I was like, thank you for this ground. Thank you for the leaves on the ground. Thank you for these feet that are walking on the ground. Thank you for the trees. Thank you for the pine needles. Thank you for that squirrel over there. Thank you for that river nearby. Thank you for the sky. And I just started listing things that I saw, just the things right in front of me. And the freedom of not having to feel grateful was really powerful, because it was just noticing and saying thank you, and noticing and saying thank you. So thank you for this, thank you for that. And then and then she goes, and just say thank you for whatever comes up. Even if you're resistant to it, just say thank you for whatever it is. And then I started to have moments where I was like, thank you for my mom. And I was really struggling with my relationship with my mom at that time. And I was like, I don't want to say that. But I said it anyway. And the practice was that we were doing this out loud to ourselves, but we're by ourselves. And so it felt safe, and we're in nature and it felt safe. So thank you for my mom. And then thank you for my stepdad, who I also was really struggling with. Thank you for him. And then I just started thinking of people, right, that I didn't really feel grateful for, but these are just, there's this rush of thank you for this and thank you for that. And then thank you for my kids, and thank you for my home, and thank you for money in the bank. Even though I didn't feel like I had enough money in the bank, I did have money in the bank. Thank you for money in the bank. Thank you for electricity. Thank you for running water. And it just kept going and going and going. And the 30 minutes was over, and I had not even touched on the infinity of number of things that I could be grateful for. So that is what we're practicing this week. And your meditation this week that you're going to be doing every single day is actually based in your body. It is starting with your physical home on this planet and as a human being, which is your body. And I've done this meditation, this body gratitude meditation in workshops and in half-day retreats and online with people. And the feedback I've gotten from this is really lovely. One man in particular came to one of my classes, and he had a knee injury that he'd been struggling with for a long time. And we did this body gratitude meditation, and he came to me after class and he was like, wow, I've been so focused on my knee and how much pain it's been, and I've been so upset. But then we did this body gratitude meditation, or this just gratitude meditation, and I realized there's all these other things that are working really, really well. So he's focusing on this one thing that was in pain when there's all these other parts of him that are not in pain, right? And all these parts that aren't in pain get to hold the part that is. So again, a lot of our practices is we're not trying to change the painful things. We're not trying to make things different than they are. We're just shifting our focus and looking at different things now. So that's a lot of what this week is. So I'm looking at my notes here. I wrote, gratitude opens your life up and expands your happiness exponentially. It's true, kind of like that meditation I told you about where I struggled at first, but once you open the door and you just start saying thank you, and again, it's not about feeling it, but by the time I was done with those 30 minutes of gratitude out in the forest, I was crying. And a lot of it, and I feel it now, what's interesting is telling that story, I feel it now in my heart. What's interesting is feeling it now, I recognize that it was just there were things in me that wanted to be acknowledged. And that's a lot of what this course is. It's like finally sitting with things and acknowledging the beauty that surrounds us, or even the painful things that are here. Being able to say thank you for the pain because it's making me more present. It's helping me care for myself more, right? Or, thank you for even the financial challenge on some level because it's causing me to sit and think and consider what kind of action I want to be taking in my life to change this or to support myself, right? So you don't have to go there, but just the practice of gratitude. And that opens us up to joy. And again, joy is one of those things that we don't hear people talk enough about. There's a beautiful poem by Kahlil Gibran, and I'm including it in this week's module, so you can download this poem. But by Kahlil Gibran, it's called On Joy and Sorrow, and he basically says that it's the container, it's our sorrow that carves out the container for our joy. So the deeper your sorrow goes, the deeper you can connect with even the painful aspects of your life, the trauma that you've felt, and even the pain in other people and the suffering in the world, the more that you can allow yourself to feel that. It's carving out the container for your joy, that one cannot exist without the other. In his poem, he also says, when one is awake on your board, the other is asleep on the bed. And they work together. So in a lot of ways, in order to connect with joy, we have to be able to connect with our pain. Brene Brown talks about this too. She's a shame researcher. She talks about how we can't selectively numb. So when we're trying to numb our pain, we're also numbing our joy. We can't numb just the painful stuff and then be happy over here, right? And then there's also the aspect of joy where it's uncomfortable in the body. Sometimes we're so used to feeling pain or suffering or negative thought patterns. We've been stuck in this rut where we just feel really stuck in some sort of negative or kind of self-destructive pattern in some way, that like when joy comes, we're like, oh no. Or we don't want to feel joy because we're afraid that we're going to be up here on the heights of joy and it's going to be too painful to fall. So we'd rather just stay down here in the pain than let ourselves go to these joyful places. But when we look at it as it's not a rise and it's not a fall, it's a dance. It's a dance with life, and it's the dance of the heart. So we're connecting with the dance in our heart and the dance in our bodies. And we're choosing that even when it's painful to say thank you. And when it's joyful, when it's happy, when it's light, when it's beautiful, thank you. The practice is just thank you. So again, taking last week's practice of mantra, bringing it into this week, and this week's mantra is just thank you. And one of your expand your practice exercises, and I really, really love this practice. When I have run this course in many different ways, one of the ways I ran it was as a live course. It's now self-paced, but when it was a live course, we had a Facebook group where we would meet, and one of the assignments, and this is still the assignment for you this week, and I encourage you to do this and invite other people in your life to do this, but it is to use your iPhone, or if you want to use your fancy camera or whatever, and you take one picture every hour of just where you are right now. And then I encourage the hashtag stay with yourself so that we can follow along if you want to add it to the collective practice of doing this practice. But the reason that we're doing this practice of taking a photo every hour, say for 12 hours, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or whatever your hours of operation are, is to start noticing. It's a practice in noticing. That's it. Noticing, right? Here's me journaling. Here's me after my shower. Here's me eating breakfast. Here's me in the car on the way to work. Here's me picking my kids up from school. Here's me, having a breakdown because I'm tired, right? The point is to start seeing ourselves and start seeing our lives. And even it could be, here's the beautiful plant in the window that I love looking at so much. And, it can start to be a practice in looking at the things that you enjoy and all the little pleasures that are presenting themselves to you and all the ways that beauty catches your eye at any given moment, because beauty is always presenting itself to us. And that's part of gratitude, and that's part of joy too, is opening our hearts to seeing the beauty in things, even when the stuff is going on over here. What's also going on, because it's all kind of happening at once, right? So anyway, I hope that you find this week deeply nourishing, really enjoyable. Have fun with the photo day. Pick a day, whatever day, and just take a photo every hour on the hour. And you could just do it just for yourself, or like I said, you can share it on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever, whatever your medium is, on your blog, whatever it is that you do. And, here's 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. And it can, be flexible, but just have it be a practice in noticing. Yeah. Okay, well, I hope you feel really supported this week. I hope you're enjoying the course so far. As always, feel free to reach out if you want to talk about it, you have questions, or you need any support. But I'll be thinking of you, and I'm really grateful to be here. I'm filled with joy, filled with gratitude. Until next week, may you stay with yourself today and always.